talk, which today we are actually discussing more by FRGS. This second series of the talk, which we have a very distinguished guest for today. So inshallah, before I introduce our speaker for today, let we start our event with Umukita Al-Fatiha. Okay, inshallah, as everyone know, today's the thing is I would like to make it not too much formal, it's just more casual for us among our the researchers and academic at IUM. Really going to discuss more about the acknowledgement and the understanding, also the respond on the assessment criteria when we are talking about applying the fundamental research grant scheme by the Ministry of Higher Education, or we know as FRGS. So before we start, before we go further to our discussion for today, I would like to invite the Director of Research Management Center, International Islamic University Malaysia, Professor Dr. Amir Akrami bin Shafi'i, to deliver her welcoming remarks. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Izzat. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank Professor Dr. Ahmad FADZIL, okay, for willingness to come here and also to continually do the talk with us. I think there's so many sessions with Prof. FADZIL already. So inshallah and alhamdulillah, we all have benefited immensely from him. Okay, and I also like to thank all the participants who make the time here okay, to come and listen to this. Inshallah, okay, we will everybody will benefit from this talk. Okay, and I like to thank you, Prof. Hazlin, and also the team, the secretariat from RMC for this series of FRGS talk. Okay, so I think I will not take your time so much. Okay, so basically, just want to say that as mentioned earlier, to those who come in earlier, I think Prof. Hazlin is saying that we are targeting for 700 applications for next year. So inshallah, okay, and this because basically we want to have more of us, okay, to be involved in research. Okay, so this is part and parcel of us as a lecturer. Okay, we are always seeking new knowledge. Okay, so I believe this is what FRGS is all about. Okay, where we are talking about fundamental. Okay, we're talking about new knowledge which can contribute to the society. We will benefit all to mankind. Okay, and obviously will uplift the ummah. Okay, so that inshallah, okay, we will continue for our positive contribution in terms of knowledge. So thank you very much. Okay, thank you again, Prof. Fadil. Okay, thank you, Prof. Hazlin. This is our second talk of FRGS. We have many more. Okay, so I hope that you will be, inshallah, okay, everybody will participate, and please also invite your friend to come along, inshallah. Okay, so we are gearing up for 2022, inshallah. Okay, thank you very much. I pass back to you, Dr. Izzat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Amir, for the welcoming remarks. So before I introduce our speaker for today, let me introduce myself. So my name is IZZAT SUFFIAN. I'm the assistant professor at the Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, Clinical Pharmacy. Inshallah, I'll be your moderator for the whole session for this morning. Inshallah, we're going to have about 1 hour plus for discussion and sharing by Prof. FADZIL, and also Q&A session from all the members who joining the Zoom. And we're also available on our YouTube. So please, for those who might not be able to join via the Zoom link, you may also join our talk for today via the YouTube as well. So let me introduce a bit of our speaker. So Professor Engineer Dr. Ahmad FADZIL ISMAIL is currently the Special Assistant to the Deputy Rector, Responsible Research and Innovation. He's also currently attached at the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at KULLIYYAH Engineering at IUM Gombak campus. Prof. FADZIL also formerly Deputy Director of Innovation and Commercialization of our RMC itself since 2013, where he's also involved in facilitate many IM researchers in terms of solution, commercialization, church properties, and etc. So during his tenure as Deputy Director of Research and Unit of RMC, he also one of our champions and also something that of MIRA for IUM. In terms of research, Professor himself mainly focusing in telecommunication engineering, computer engineering, and also communication engineering, which has many winning PRGS research proposals. So for those who might also not just FRGS, want to know more about PRGS, you may also contact in person with Prof. FADZIL as well. He's actually got his undergraduate studies back in States and also employment also in telecommunication engineering over there. And also he got his PhD study back United Kingdom and also have experience in many industrial companies as well. Professor himself actually joined IUM in 2006 and also he have many involvement in professional consultation with the local states government and also private companies as well. So I think without further ado, I would like to invite Professor himself to deliver his talk and discussion with us today. Please welcome Professor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Izzat. Thank you so much, Prof. Ahmed. Thank you so much, RMC, Prof. Haslin, Sister Aida Meli, for giving me this opportunity to share little what I have. I think like Dr. Izzat was sharing, I hope that to tone down my sharing session this morning into a very casual, informative, not so much on official tone, but it'll be like a sharing session. What I discussed with Prof. Haslin earlier, I think within the talks of RMC to the aspiring applicant for 2027, Prof. Ahmed just now shared that inshallah for 2027 we have at least 700 aspiring applications. So let's all work together. I look forward for the opportunity to assist to make our submission as competitive as possible, and inshallah with the grace of Allah, our colleagues, IIM colleagues, will be warranted success. I think before this, respected esteemed Prof. Ratna has already organized a talk on a winning proposal. So this morning, maybe for about 45 minutes, 1 hour, I would like to share from perspective of assessment. Basically, for all of us, we can log in into our migrants, and then we can click right now. We don't even have to wait for the announcement. In the migrant, the FRGS draft is indeed operable. We can each one of us already can click and start working on our FRGS grant for this coming 2020. So no need to wait until RMC make announcement and whatnot. And perhaps from there, let's all together study the FRGS form together so that we know what to fill. And inshallah, with this morning talk, I also shared from a perspective of the assessment criteria. Yes, some of us might not have the access to the assessment criteria. There are quite a number of concerns. I mean, this is my personal view. I mean, even for my student, for midterm and final, I showed them past year exams or midterm question. I spelled out during the briefing what are my expectations. This type of question, how are they supposed to attempt in replying in their script. Therefore, because I want to help them to be able to show the extent of their familiarity, their knowledge in this particular skill. So for that note, I believe all applicants, including myself, we need to be able to first acknowledge there is assessment criteria. Then we need to understand what each of these criterion require. Subsequently, then we need to put our best effort to respond to this assessment criteria, because it's very critical. One, to make sure that our application is complete. Imagine that they are asking something else and we write in lengthy 2 pages, 3 pages, does not even meet the requirement of or does not even responding to the assessment criteria. That would be a waste of effort, a waste of time. It doesn't mean, what we put on there, because this is how we thought that we understand to respond. So on that note, allow me, let's just as a start up, just share the very basic of FRGS application form in this case. Kejap ya. So share. Okay, so let's just look together. I believe everybody can see, right?
Yes, Prof, we can see.
All right, so this is basically, if possible, the aspiration of this morning. I want to advocate, I want to share, I want to appeal for all colleagues, aspiring applicants. See, the thing is that there are some individuals, our colleagues that has already secured 5 or even 6 times FRGS. We have our colleagues that secured 3 times PRGS, and we have our colleagues that secured TRGS. I think it would be best for us to actually consult them, ask them, or request them to share some of the pointers. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, that is such a achievement in terms of consistency. Perhaps there is a specific ayah or doa that they practice, then also we'll have to get them to share as well. Okay, never mind on that one. But RMC has all these details, considering the individuals. I know of Prof. Sharul Naim. He secured so many times FRGS, and not only FRGS, and even that special FRGS grant for those who successfully secured project before time and above and beyond the requirement. I think at that time he and Prof. Hassan secured. These are individuals that we really hope forward can emulate, and I can see, Prof. Hamid, Prof. Anis, we have Prof. Hazlin herself, maybe already your 3rd or 4th, right, Prof. Hazlin? Okay, this is the form. See, the thing is that the form needs to be complete, inshallah, and then the form needs to be competitive, because we're going to see it from perspective of assessor who doesn't hopefully usually the assessor is within the very same field. Hopefully he knows us by reputation or by googling up, immediately can list out. This lists out all our previous work. But let's work on the form first. Here we have the details of the project leader, namely us, the applicant, everything. I saw the the request in the IUM announcement, asking everybody, all aspiring applicants, to update our details. If we have our new phone numbers, please update. New email, please update. There are issues if let's say one time we open too many account with Migrant, so we need to disable one or ask RMC to delete, and we get the right one to register. Reason being is that if our counterparts contemporary would like to invite us as co-researcher, they might be putting the wrong FRGS account, and they wait for us to accept, and we never get it in the invitation in our email until it is so many complications. Okay, that part is the details of project leader. Later on I'll share. Okay, so the research information, research domain, these are the click button in the FRGS form. Please make sure we click the right button, because at the national level we have a specific cluster. This specific cluster lead by specific individual and specific assessor team. So let's say as of right now, ICT basically that falls under respected Prof. Ku Rohana. Engineering and technology. Engineering and technology, that's under leadership of Prof. Hamidi. So we need to make sure we select the right research domain, because we want this particular application to get and be assessed by the right team of assessor. I mean, if it goes to the different things, perhaps some might consider that applicant don't even not even clear which domain the research to be pursued. It falls back to us, the limitation. Okay, then we need to spell out the duration of the research. I'll shortly share some of the notes shared with us by respected the director of BPKI, because from there is specific what do you call this, specific instruction. I mean, for example, FRGS. So can we apply more than 3 years, or can we apply less than 1 year? Maybe in the guideline there is no such clear cut, but it is indeed being summarized with what had been shared by BKI to RMC as well as a panel. Okay, respected colleagues, just now I mentioned about updating our migrant profile. Over the years, we have been applying, not yet rezeki, but we keep on putting effort and pray, make dua for Allah. But perhaps we have been included in what you call this, as co-researcher in other research, other FRGS applications. So please ensure if such has been updated in our account. And we can also contact RMC, Sister Aida, Prof. Hazlin, where we can update the latest or the previous research in this case. Okay, sekejap. Okay, because here other research in this case, I still remember it's not other researchers, other research here. It will extract from our migrant. It'll put their researcher ID in our case, our name, and then our passport, and then our position, whether we are the what you call principal investigator, co-researcher. Subsequently, Under academic publication, same as well. If we go and log in, we need to update our details, our track record of research. We need to update our academic publication. Please do so. I remember seeing the advertisement or solicitation from RMC in this case. So we need to, if you are the corresponding author, primary author, or co-researcher, please update. One thing that respected colleague has to be aware, all this update, we need to contact RMC so that it is verified. Sister Aida can confirm. Because whatever we update, 100 pages we update, if it's not verified by RMC, the moment Migrant pull our what you call this, our application, they will not be listed. Okay, so please be clear on this one. Don't just update, inform RMC, get the short message saying that the information has been validated. Okay, let's look into what the summary of expected from our application. First, it talks about research background. I think on way top in this particular case is the title. But then under the detailed planning, we have the research background. We have the problem statement in this particular case, and then we have the hypothesis, and then we have the research question, we have the literature review, then we have the relevance to government policy, if any. Brothers and sisters, esteemed colleagues, if any, in this particular case, I know some of us just maybe regard that if any, so it might be a trick question or optional question. I really don't think right now whatever we are doing has nothing at all to do with government policy. So I hope by looking at this and then we share the assessment criteria, we can see that how we plan to write, or if we already have a draft proposal, or perhaps the previous year submitted proposal but not yet successfully, not rezeki yet. Maybe these are the things that we can do to improve. And then they ask about references, they ask about objective of the research, the methodology, the description of this methodology, flowchart of the research activities, the research activities itself, then the milestones and the dates. We need to upload the Gantt chart of the research activities with the milestone. We need to be able to share with them what are the expected results as well as benefits in this case. Research publication, how many do we aspire? Specific application or potential application, training of talent in this case. Do we want to train PhD or we want to train master? Impact on society, economy, and nation. If we plan to pursue intellectual property, please feel free to state that our aspiration. And then on another section, access to equipment and material from whatever perspective that we want to pursue in, let's say, maybe 18 months of research, 1 month research, 24 months research, or 36 months research. Of course, at any time, if some of these are being can be supported with existing equipment, it at least what you call give some assurances that the chance of risk is minimized. And then we look into the section E is the budget. We need to be very clear that we put all the requests, a reasonable request is a practical request as well as achievable request. Salary in this particular case, we've seen from different years of guideline, there is an increase. I would like to encourage share everybody to check the latest guideline. As of right now, 2022, no new. I did not hear of new guideline yet, but I believe there is a guideline revision 2021. Traveling and transportation. What are eligible? What not? Eligible under vote rental, what can we rent, what we cannot rent, research materials and supplies under vote 27, professional services to be incorporated, to be engaged, to be included in our what you call that, proposed research. If we need to buy any equipment, that one should falls under vote 35,000. Okay, so I think this is very much an overview, but let's look from perspective of assessment, because I think this is very critical. Even before going to the exam, yes, we studied all the lecture notes, we studied past year question, but we want to be sure we are supplying the information as per requested, or we don't want to waste time. Some of the I mean, this is my personal experience. I can be very clear. If the question only spell out list, then I can see that the marks over there is maybe 2, 3, 4 marks, and then on another section I can see that the keyword is explained, the keyword is described, and the marks is somewhat about 15 out of 100. Of course, I will put 2 different set of attempt in order to qualify for the list. It's just listing, and in order to qualify for the describe, explain in this case. Okay, so I think what is this? The next. Okay, because the next would be on the assessment. Yes, would be on the assessment criteria. We have so many national evaluator at IUM. Prof. Amir is one of the evaluator. Prof. Hazlin as well, Prof. Anis, Prof. Syahrul Naim, Prof. Azura. I mean, you can confirm with them that this is basically the form that we have to fill in this whenever we receive all the application. Okay, so we also have opportunities to be assessor should the appointment by PROHAPIS or DRRI recommendation by RMC for internal. Okay, so as we can see, just now I mentioned about the form. In the form, in this particular case, it will basically extract the project, title. So, and then it will extract the details about the project leader. And in this particular form as well, if the project leader has a previous MOHI project, then it basically will extract this information. So I can see individuals, prof or doctor such and such, maybe already have secured 3 FRGS previously, 2 completed and 1 ongoing. But even though ongoing, according to the guideline, for those who already have completed 75%, 75% and more, they are also eligible to apply. So all this will appear here for every project as well. The key performance index, the aspired training or talent, student master or student PhD, they'll put tick yes, or if this is PRGS, for example, the training of research assistant or research officer, they'll tick yes. If there is any list of publication associated with a previous grant, all will pull up as well if there is any previous file, IP or prototype. Okay, respected colleagues, I think this is something that all of us, like the title, the talk spell out, we need to acknowledge, we need to put our best effort to understand what are the requirements, and we need to be able to respond accordingly. So for all this section, here are the guidance: very poor, poor, acceptable, good, very good. 1 and 2, very poor. If the panel deem that this is poor, 3 or 4. Acceptable, 5 and 6, good. 7 to 8, 9 to 10, that's very good. I'll share that in another slide. But let's just have a look. Have a look at the criteria or each specific criterion in this case. Let's look at the title. I mean, I'm applying for, I'm not eligible for this time around, but should I eligible to apply, whatever the title that I put in my application will be assessed. And this is the assessment, form or the rubric. It indeed spell out that my title has to be specific in nature, reflecting fundamental issues which to be resolved, or it needs to spell out the novelty. Okay, so I'm sharing this to myself, but all of us aspiring applicant as well can reflect. Let's look at our idea, our title idea, and let's look at the title that we have, let's say, draft in this case. Does it actually specific in nature, reflecting any fundamental issues that to be resolved, or is there something that we would like to highlight in terms of novelty? I mean, we need to be very sure that if possible, this is indeed unique, unique, and perhaps not only limited to its uniqueness, but it spells out the aspiration of to solve fundamental issues. I think the term fundamental as well, there seems to be some aspect. What is fundamental? The Dean for USM Medical School, I cannot remember. Sorry, but from I think one of the professors, Fadil. What is fundamental? I like to use this example, the analogy in this particular case. why and how. Why the frog green in color or warna hijau, or how the frog is green. Macam mana katak warna, kenapa katak warna hijau, and macam mana katak boleh warna hijau. So it always fall back the why and the how. I tried my best to have this indeed focus. Okay. Number 2, it has to be brief and reflect the content of proposal. See, remember, for each one of these, the panel need to put the marks. So we can ask ourselves, do I qualify good for this one? So if I want to qualify for good, what are the assessment or what are the rubrics they really look forward? Okay, so if the title supposed to be free, I mean, we can ask yourself, I'm using 30 words for my title. Is that brief? Is that brief, or I'm already defaulting this particular brief? If I use 30 words, I don't think the panel will agree. I mean, in my case, anything less should qualify for brief, but not beyond 20 words in this case. So I'm sharing this that perhaps one paragraph, 3 lines, 40 words of title might not be at all acceptable. Okay, so content reflects the content of proposal. Sabar. Later on, once we complete our proposal, we have to review it ourselves. Then we need to answer ourselves. The title, does it reflect the content of our proposal in this case? Okay, that alone just a title. I'm quite sure there are instances in this particular case that if we don't know about all this criterion requirement, we might ended up writing something which does not even reflect fundamental issues to be resolved. We might be writing a title that maybe when we look at it, no, we come to the realization ourselves that this is something not in line with the requirement, and we look at it, we can look, is there a novelty in this particular case? Okay, and like I said, like I shared just now, what if we use 30-40 words in this case? Does that false brief? So we need to acknowledge that this exists. We need to understand. We try our best to understand, and then we hope to respond accordingly. So we have the title, and then have the title. The title has to be like I said, has to be scored at least good and very good, because later on I'll share to you as well. Then the next part is the executive summary. I know a lot of us really put our best effort to write a summary, because it's kept at 300 words, or some I think it's kept at 300 words. And all the wajibun in this particular executive summary, we need to make sure that there is a problem statement there. We need to make sure that the objective, the overall overview, the general objective is there. We need to spell out that the methodology is also there, and what is the expected outcome, or the implication of our study. Significance of the output, we also need to highlight. So imagine that if we don't acknowledge that this what you call this rubric exists, we might be talking too much on the problem statement. We miss out the objective. That's already TKO. We talk about problem statement, objective, methodology to some extent. We did not include the expected output and significance of the output. Perhaps from perspective of another evaluator, they said that this is already technical knockout. Because I remember in the form as well, in that FRGS migrant, it clearly spelled out that these are, they asked us to put this, to put this, to put this, to put this. If I may suggest, please put them in chronological order, because I've seen some executive summary talking about objective, then talk about significant. Follow the sequence. Problem statement first, then the objective, then the methodology, then the expected outcome, then the significance of the outcome. This way, any panel, okay, this is the objective, this is the methodology, then they can just tick, 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 tick. Or in this case, please use the very same words here to highlight where they are in our executive summary. Okay, that part, title 5%, executive summary 10%, then falls back to the research background. I can tell all esteemed colleagues, there is this criterion, elaboration of the title. You can go and check in that particular migrant form. You will not be able to see if there is any specific section where this is requested. Okay, so now you know that, oh, okay, or you can you cannot, or in this particular case, you already seen this. You need to make the effort that whatever the title just now, I would put it under the research background, or there is a section for problem statement. I will do the mukaddimah on the elaboration of the title just before I start on the problem statement, because I think a lot of us miss this elaboration of the title. I've seen so many application, the title to some extent were not implicitly, of course lah. Reading through the whole proposal, I can gather that okay, this is basically basically try to do this, but facilitate. Now we can see that the title needs some elaboration before the start of the problem statement. Please feel free, 2-3 lines just to elaborate, because the title just now, they restrict it has to be brief. Of course, if we use, let's say, 18, 19 words, they might be super concise and can be elaborated. So we take this opportunity to elaborate the title. Then the next section would be the clarity of the problem statement and research question, if applicable. Respected colleague, please disregard the word if applicable, because our aspiration, if possible, we want to convince the panel stating that this is a critical issues, critical challenges that the country, the society is facing. So we need to put our best effort in making sure that this is a real impending question. If we talk about statistic of plastic being thrown in the sea, if you're talking about concern about plastic in the sea. For example, let's furnish the statistic. Let's furnish the latest statistic. Let's furnish, because on this particular section, it allows the attachment of figures. So let's put a picture of turtles wrapped in a plastic, or caught dead, not being able to swallow plastic. Okay, so that is the section problem. Then we need to cite the most recent last 5 years related references. I know some of us were asking how many. I already cite, but I would like to encourage. I would like to go for consideration. Perhaps more than 50%. If we have 20, at least make sure that 10 and more is within the last 5 years. Not that we have 20, we have only one in the last 5 years. Oh, janji ada, because we want to be able to tackle and convince the panel that I've prepared these are the latest, and please score award very high score under very good in this case. For this one too, it is in line with government policy, national agenda, global aspiration. We have to include this particular field. There is a specific section in that particular migrant. If I may suggest how we want to make it a spot on relevance, just Google up Prime Minister PMO webpage, Prime Minister Office webpage. They have all previously published national policy, albeit in engineering, arts, health, everything should be there, by showing the effort that we have this somewhat in line with the government policy. Inshallah, panel will see that. Oh, okay, so the applicants basically make effort to link whatever the gaps, whatever the composition of this proposal to be in line or concurrent with the government aspiration, because we have to imagine and acknowledge that this funding, FRGS or PRGS, I mean, it's from MOF and to MOHI, and it needs to be in place. Okay, all right. So in line. Talk about objective. A lot of colleagues were asking how many objective. I think in my case, 2 years research, 3 years research, 3 objective should be just fine. But on all this objective, please be specific, because a lot of times I saw to do this and this. Don't use and in this particular case, because now not clear, is that 2 objectives in that very same declaration, or just 1 objective? And I also have seen that same objective was repeated 3 times. I would like to encourage not to adopt that one. So we have to be very clear, close our eyes. What are the things that we want to do? The first objective, we want to do something. Second objective, we want to achieve something. So all this objective that we want to spell out, we need to relate back to the problem statement that we have outlined on the top. Can any of these objectives at least mitigate, cannot mitigate, alleviate, or lessen the condition of the problem just now? So there are always this link, because if we talk about something else, the problem, we talk about a different hypothesis, and when we read our research, how on earth, what are the linkages in this case? So So we have to be very sure we keep track all this. That's 15 marks. Methodology part, that's 25 marks in this case. Clear and detailed description of the methodology. Please describe or state in this particular case what are the work involved. Is it going to be a field work or sampling or interview session or computer simulation or or laboratory experimentation? See how in my case, I shared my assessment. If the applicant spells out 3 objectives for the methodology, I want to check, is there such thing as methodology that can achieve objective number 1? Or in this particular section, objective number 2, where are the methodology? And objective number 3, many instances that I have identified, listed 3 objectives, and these are like 5 pages of methodology, and I fail to see the relationship. I fail to see the relationship. So how am I going to be able to award good or very good marks if these are all not clear? And I was not able to determine which methodology can achieve which particular objective. And for this particular section, it allows to include flow chart. See, on the sites of the migrant, there are a section where we can upload pictures and chart. Please make the full use of all these facilities, because sometimes it can be quite lengthy for us to explain. Maybe it will be a lot easier if we paste the flow chart. Okay, so we have to remember that this is 25 marks for this section. Then we talk about the expected results. In that migrant form just now, we need to spell out what is it that we try our best to uncover, and our aspiration, how many we want to publish in top tier index journal, because according to the guideline, there is this wajibun criteria that we need to publish in journal cited, journal cited. Sometimes we are not yet very clear. Conference proceeding, is that journal or not counted as journal? The name itself is proceeding in this particular case, so it is not counted as journal. So we have to be really make a specific plan. If I carried out this particular research, do a little bit of background search. Where are the the publication along this field of findings are indeed being published, and are they indexed or they are not indexed? So if index in this particular case, we can, respected colleague can go on our intranet. Go to Scopus, can type some topics, type some topics or relevant words. From there, you should be able to gather what are the journals within this scope of study. Because like right now, if we say 2 index journal, the next question will be which index journal. So we need to help to facilitate that. Okay, they don't have to ask. We know that these are the journals that indexed by Scopus or indexed by Web of Science. I'm from arts. Is there journals in what you call religion and in arts indexed by Web of Science? Yes, they have AHCR, Arts, Humanities, and Arts and Humanity Citation Index in this particular case, and one of these particular one of these particular index by Web of Science, basically our own IIM Al-Sajarah, Al-Sajarah. So we need to really spell out, because let the panel see and let the panel recognize and acknowledge that we also know how to respond to the requirement of this criteria or specific criteria. If we want to, in our proposal, spell out, we want to train talents, master or PhD or a mixture of them. To date, I believe that you can have more. It depends on the amount of the money that requested, whether two master or two PhD or combination. But as long as it does not burst the maximum capping. Okay, so what else? Respected colleague, this is where the track record and project leaders, as well as composition of the team. If we don't update our migrant, there will be no track record, no track record. I know some of colleagues were saying, I just registered a report, completed my PhD and report to T February 14, 2021, for example. If I want to apply for 2022, of course, there will be no record or project leader. But please, there is also mark for composition of team. So this is where who we want to invite and who we want to work together in our project matters and count. So a good combination, maybe we want to invite a senior colleague, a professor or associate professor, which has already a good track record in order to supervise us in pursuing this particular aspired research. So we have to think of the possibility. Okay, if I put, let's say, myself and another colleague, the S51, if this is the form, can the panel give me very good 9 to 10? Maybe in this case, if I can see that the colleague, even though only for now 52, but citation of more than 10,000, more than 10,000 according to Scopus or Web of Science, that could be something that they're both young, but they have excellent track record in previous publication. So think of means how we can get the highest mark. It spells out well balanced. So as ourselves. So me alone, is it well balanced, or me with another colleague of say perhaps assistant professor is well balanced? Because I know, albeit it's only five marks, but we want to get the highest mark. Okay. From perspective of the quality of the proposal, it has to be meticulous. I've seen quite a number of instances with grammar. Respected colleague, please install at least Grammarly, and whenever as we are composing, some of it will immediately be corrected. Good formatting and presentation. in section problem statement, we can attach we can attach pictures, relevant illustration. The methodology, for example, we can attach as well a relevant illustration. So we need to put thoughts that we want to get as highest mark. Element of FRGS criteria. When we read through our proposal, does it have the feel of novelty? So I mean that's coming from assessor, but as the one that composed, we need to make sure that we keep on highlighting the novelty, we keep highlighting the cutting edge of our research, as well as the impact of our research. The translational potential in this case, what is translational? I mean, if we Google what is translational, basically Wikipedia or whatever they keep on saying that something translational, we have a gap, we have the issues with our to be pursued activities, we can hope to close the gap. Maybe not even solve it for now, but at least contribute to the improvement of this particular limitation and circumstances in this case. So from the top, they have this criterion, this criterion, this criterion, this criterion, this criterion, and we need to aspire to make sure that whatever it's worth, I want to get 9. Busuk, I want to get 8 in this case. Or I want to aspire to get 9. No question. As I want to, from my title, from my composition of themes, from my objective, I want to qualify for 9. And then when I put all the fundings, they're all very much practical, viable, achievable in this case. And the distribution part, I know exactly what is this definition of 11,000, 21,000, 24,000, 27,000, 29,000, because I've seen where to some extent there has been error where enumerators were put under 11,000. No. Enumerators, or the one that we only engage on short term, they should be under 29,000. Okay, so I've already shared the application form. All of these basically, as we fill up not as we fill up, there are a requirement, but I really hope when colleagues filling up the form, colleagues can print this, put it next to the form, or you can open your application here and the form here. Don't need to go. Just look. Okay, this is my title that I coined. Can I get 9 here? This is the objective. Sorry, the executive summary. All the wajibun here, is it included already here? And with all this, does it give the feel that I can get 9 out of 10 for this particular section? And then coming down, don't forget this particular assessment wants us to elaborate the title. Next is where the section of problem statement. Make effort, attempt to include the explanation of our title. Then we need to put a very convincing problem statement that this is a problem that very, very serious. We deserve funding. Government would like to see this particular aspect of issues, challenges to be resolved at the quickest speed in this case. So how do we outline how do we highlight that? Make sure we put statistic. We make sure we put cutting from latest mainstream news to give the reflection that this is not. I don't really like to use the word. I mean, quite a number keep for us researcher. Everybody, I mean, the tone with that short sendiri research, because to us maybe we understand understand the aspect of the relevancy, but if we don't support this, maybe they look at it, they have no idea how does this fall. So under the section problem statement, please put as detailed information as possible. Then we have the background. In this case, I remember at the background as well, the pictures can also be attached. Set the relevancy. Then references, in this case, they want last 5 years. Please ensure at least 50% or more, 75%, even better, in the last 5 years. It gives the feels that this is a hot topic discussed all throughout the world. Then we have the objective. The objective of this particular proposed, I recommend 3 or 4 years, maybe PhD student 4. But let's try stick with 3 first. Then underneath we have the methodology. Make sure objective number 1. We close our eyes. We close our eyes and we can imagine that these are the things that we're going to be pursued in order for us to achieve the objective number 1. Then second section, we close our eyes. We read objective number 2. Then these are the write-up of how objective number 2 can be achieved somewhat with objective number 3, because all of these, they all comes into play with our budget, considering that the amount of work involved. For example, how many GRA we want to recruit, 1 or 2 or 1 PhD in this case, or what are the materials that we want to, or what are the materials that we want to purchase or hire. There were instances where I can see that the materials, for example, are too expensive. Be frank, be honest, spell out what are the limitations. For all this job, I need to make sure I buy the beaker or whatever, the beaker that exclusively to be used here. I cannot be sharing shake, wash, share or use the equipment already in the lab. Any variation might give me a different result. Please elaborate and substantiate. Okay, so let me just, I think this is, I already shared. Let's just look at this. Yeah, we have about 15 more minutes. Just this is the taklimat permohonan. I'll just go run through just to add on to what I just shared just now. Okay, this is the tick part, the cluster or the field, the domain penyelidikan. In this particular case, we have to click the cluster penyelidikan. We have to click, and then it has to have the field of wawasan kemajuan bersama 2030. What is this wawasan kemajuan bersama? It has been prepared by our own IIUM colleague, Dr. Gary, as well as Dr. Amani, and I cannot remember. So this is This is wawasan kemajuan bersama. At all time, feel free to include the draft of 2022 FRGS with the notion of WKB 2030 downloadable. SDG, for example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 17, and perhaps number 18, spirituality. 10 my STI. We can go to, I think it's Academy Science website. Link all this. Oh, by the way, dana penyelidikan fundamental DPF KPT. These are the seven cluster under arts and applied. We have Prof Mariana as one of the panel as well. And we have quite a number Prof Ida, I believe, under arts also, arts and applied arts. Okay, colleagues, this is the spell out that we applied. We prepared the proposal. Then they will be vetted internally, and we really hope the internal evaluator will give the best comment in improving our improving our proposal. What we missed out first time around, our colleague, our internal evaluator colleagues, then they have this penaziran at peringkat JPT, because they at the ministry they poll everything else. They want to see if let's say Prof Amir was sharing that we want to submit 700 plus of our application for 2022. Has all of them being vetted accordingly? That means complete proposal. They don't want to see if proposal without title, without budget got passed and recommended. So this one, RMC needs to really scrutinize and make sure that all the internal evaluation is according to what has been specified. Who are the individual appointed and the process, process. Then it'll pass at the national level. By the way, for internal as well as national, they will be using the same form just now. This is the wajibun part of all what is expected from our application. They were talking about two index journal, and one of that has to be indexed in Web of Science. So we need to be able to put this in our application, not just some claim. Oh, I'm gonna write two journals, and one of them will be indexed by Web of Science. We want to score 9, right? So if we want to score 9, let's put there the name of the first journal and the name of the second journal in Web of Science. Respected colleagues, we are competing against, I don't know how many thousands of other aspiring applicants. If the wajibun part in this particular guideline was saying that minimum 2, if everybody is applying and stating only 2, what happened when somebody else say that, okay, for this amount of money, I can prepare 4 or I can prepare 3. So what is the perspective? Let's say if you put 2, then the panel might incline to put maybe 8, good. But somehow, for the same amount of money, there are these individuals that aspire to put 4, for example. Please take that into consideration. The training of talent is spelled out. 3 years project, 1 PhD or 2 master or combination is okay. If it's a project of 2 years, there will be one master. This one I spelled out the eligibility just now. Even though Prof. Amir is looking at 700 for those who completed, Alhamdulillah. For those who ongoing, but 75% can also apply in this case. These are other things I think maybe in future talks, RMC can organize about the additional requirement, pattern search and whatnot, because I think time is against me. I want to immediately look for the most critical section evaluation. Yes. So I'll take maybe last 10 minutes to talk about criteria penilaian. These are in Malay, but we can have the similar understanding, just like what it spelled out, something which is novel, something try to solve the fundamental issues with high impact. I already spelled out the 5%, 10%, 15%, 12%, 20%, 5% up to the 3%. Colleagues, this is the criteria and the scale marking. Just now I shared that everybody has to strive to get 9 out of 10 or even 10 out of 10. Reason being, in this particular case, we know the marking. They have this rating. Anything that score 79 and below, I mean, number 1, the title, 5%. Then the executive summary, 10%. I mean, let's take whatever happened, we get 1 or 2 here, or 7 and 8 here, or 9 and 8 here, or acceptable. Just take it simple. If this is nothing, if this is a proposal with no, it's just a proposal, everywhere is acceptable, 5/6, 5/6, 5/6. By acknowledging that such rubric exists and acknowledging that this is the marking scale, that means if we score 60 in our proposal, then we are among unlucky one, considering that anything 79 and below is considered unsuccessful. Perhaps not recommended, but not successful. So we can see that marks between 80 and 85, this is recommended, and we can see that should we score 85 up to 100, that this is going to be highly recommended. I know that the system is not perfect. It's not just one person who do all this. It'll be based on individual and subject to individual perception and recognition. Maybe 2,000 application, then let's say we have 100 evaluators. Per evaluators have 20 proposal in this case. So we need to make doa as well. Our application is complete. Not only it's complete, our application also is competitive, because this is where our target right now, after my sharing in this case, our target is that I want to, inshallah, I aspire to secure FRGS, and my focus in preparing my FRGS application is to get 85 and above, because this is the setup. The reason being, in this case, let's say out of out of 2,000 application, the allocated money is, let's say, only 5 million. So if 2,000 only 5 million, so perhaps let's say everybody asking 100,000, 100,000, maybe the successful is only 500 aspiring application. So sorry. Okay, so sorry, the application, so we can see that right now only 500 out of 2,000, 25%, 25% will be fund for the aspired research. So again, like I said, this is very critical to have good, very good in this case. I think I'll just stop here. I look forward to assist all colleagues. Dr. Izzat, I think back to you, please.
Okay, thank you, Professor FADZIL, for the sharing. I think that's a lot. Even I learned a lot, to be honest, as well. Like this, I feel like there's so many things being differently updated compared when the first time I applied for FRGS. I think 5 years been IU, I'm like, wow, things have been changed a lot. So I think we have like quite some time. So for all the members who are joining us for today, if you have any questions, feel free. You may use your mic. You may introduce yourself, where are you from, and what the question will be directly to Prof. FADZIL today. Or if you have a question, you can also type on the chat box, and I will bring the questions to Prof. FADZIL as well. Feel free to ask. I think this is a great moment for us to ask a question, or maybe sharing as well, because I say it's a very a discussion among all the academia and researchers in IUM.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. Dr. Izzat. I have one simple question or request. Prof. FADZIL,
sure, please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Is it possible to put in the what they call model successful FRGS in the past? You know, a good proposal and good what they call good grant given. You know, maybe you can edit it. You know, you put it in the website so that future applicant can just refer, you know, that this is a sample of best proposal, winning proposal, you know, so that if anybody wants to know, and then just show this one, and perhaps this model answer or model sample, what do you call, good proposal, you know, from each kulliyah, you know, in IIUM, you know. So this is sample for engineering, this sample for medical. That's all. And this is just a suggestion, if it is possible. You can edit, you can what do you call delete the confidential any what do you call any confidential element or parts, you know.
Thank you, Prof. Marzuki. Prof.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Marzuki. That's a very good suggestion. Okay, so we will take note, and inshallah we will work with our internal evaluators, Prof. FADZIL included. Okay, to find the best proposal that so that we can put as a sample for each of the kulliyah.
Yes,
inshallah.
Thank you,
Prof, for a very good suggestion.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Marzuki, for the question. So any other members would you like to ask Prof. FADZIL or RMCA directly any question related to the FRGS grant as well? I think Prof. FADZIL, on my side, because like I mean, like there's so many changes happen right with the current, like actually on the last part you mentioned, like we need to have this especially on the wawasan kemakmuran bersama, wawasan. There's a bit confused, the WBO 2030. So like how exactly like we want to ensure that we not put it just for the sake of putting, that's really connected for whatever the research project that we are going to apply. Because sometimes like we just put it, for example, even the policy itself, like just for the sake need to be there. We try to play around with the words just to make sure it's related, but how to ensure that it's really represent that our research really going to contribute directly to the policies or even SDGs.
In my case, in my personal case, I look at this policy and I reflect the relevancy of my to be pursued research. So I don't think I want to create the link, but I want to establish or support that with this particular research. Inshallah, I aspire to assist in this particular gap. So again, like I shared just now, as a responsible researcher, responsible citizen for Malaysia, given the opportunity for us to carry out our daily undertaking, inshallah, we should not be coining it, but instead try to link as transparent as possible. Maybe we did not even realize it before, then it become a realization for us. Maybe even for the government, they themselves don't even realize that actually they are researchers. So not if we put it there for the sake of putting there, then it will be like just like what you shared. But I believe if we put our best effort, try to elaborate, try to link, and try to convince that we are doing this for greater good, Dr. Izzat, they were saying that not that it has to be under SDG, under WKB 31 of. So anything that we can, anything that it is linked, right? I can see that if you have to link all 5, mati. But
yeah, that's true. Like people got confused. Like, should I put everything like all together, bunch together into the project?
No, perhaps if you have time, then you might put thoughts to link all 5. But then again, if you are comfortable in linking one and outline the relationship, the translation there, I believe that should be adequate in terms of qualifying. The extra one, the extra effort, inshallah, those will give you the extra mark.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, then one more question is like, I think like some after the new academics that comes to IUM, like most of them with the PhD project, I mean their project is already like really applied or like advanced level of PhD. And then we're coming back when it comes to what fundamentals, as also you mentioned earlier as well, like the confusion of the definition of fundamentals from the KPT side as well. Like at what, because like it's a bit confusing when you have some sharing from other universities, they say this is considered fundamental, and here's this considered fundamental, and then like for them like it's a bit confusion, like at what level that really considered fundamentals, and is there any particular keywords or things that really all the assessors that looking at, okay, if you have this, it's not considered fundamental, if you have this already considered fundamentals?
If I may share from my perspective, if I want to assemble something which is tangible, I mean, if I want to assemble something which is tangible, where I can feel, touch, use, in this particular case, this cannot be fundamental. This is already applied. But at any aspiration that which later on I want to assemble something which is tangible, I have to start with the fundamental research first. So I don't. What is the problem? We talk about what pollution, plastic pollution, for example. Maybe some of our colleagues believe that eventually they want to assemble plastic which meet water. I mean, throw in water, it dissolves. For example, the aspect of assembling this cannot be fundamental research, but to analyze, to identify what are the materials to be assembled for this special plastic, dissolved plastic, that part is fundamental.
Okay.
So you for me, straightforward. If I read a proposal, if it talks about assembly, if it talks about assembly, something which is tangible can be whole, that is very much applied. If we talk about trying to identify try to identify or try to put together just now. Just now, these are the research aspect of it, but not so much on the assembly.
Okay, so I think that's clear actually, because like, for example, like for me, like my PhD itself already, like we already have the material and then we try to use the material. So it'll be like, where does it go come to fundamentals? I think there's different field of research, the definition of fundamentals is a bit different. So I think like it's good, like regardless if you are social science or science, life sciences and so on, like exploring the concept, exploring the for example materials, that's we can consider as fundamentals, rather than, as you said, like you're already there, want to test another part, that's it's no more fundamentals to be understood easily, right?
If it's already there, you want to test it, you can, it's confirmed, can be found by PRGS. But to get there, all the fundamental study, inshallah, can be supported.
I think we might gonna have a session like, I think like, should we have FRGS or PRGS? That's the KPT stuff thingy, right? Because sometimes people say, can we just jump to PRGS and so on? I think that will be another talk maybe we can have with RMC afterwards to discuss about this. So I think that's really clear, especially for you new lecturers, new academics that has been joining this year or last year to IAM. This is good starting point for us, like to actually understanding how to actually doing this. And also the research should not just for the sake of KPI, it's really like to contribute back to the community that will benefit to the Ummah, inshallah. That's why we are leading the way. That's why we are with the tagline, we are leading the way. The project that we believe that we are doing research as researchers is really to bring benefit to the Ummah, inshallah. So I think we have a suggestion from the chat box, like really hope that the slides, the material that you could share, maybe ours you could share with all the members, maybe through announcer, I'm not sure, but then they really request that all the slides and sharing material that you just shared with us today could be shared to our members today.
I really, I think especially on the what you call that rubric, it helps a lot. It helps me a lot when I try to compose my own application, because if I know that this is what is expected in my composition, then I can word it. I can what you call? I can arrange this particular section where I can look at my composition. Do I qualify for good in this case? So that way is a good practice. Or if I want an independent, okay, Dr. Izzat, you already finished yours, and then you go to see another colleague. Can you assess my composition? And then whatever the first thing, Dr. Izzat, there is no fundamental in your title, or your problem statement ni is just a so saja. You need to increase the urgency of urgency, or in this particular case, you have 3 objectives. I cannot see where are your methodology to achieve objective 2. So that way you guys can work internally among each other, because it has to be complete. Then after complete, let's look about how to make this super competitive to ensure get that 85 and above. I did not share one thing just now. In the you can confirm with the panel. Anywhere that we scored 5 and below is automatically TKO.
All right. So
if let's say I don't know. I mean let's say for title, for example, to extend 40 words. I've seen 40 words. So is it a good title with 40 words? It does not reflect the word brief just now. So
it becomes like a short essay then.
Yes, short essay then. So that's one aspect. I think I hope all colleagues can adopt the preparation. Still we have time, or we go cleaning ourselves, and we have this assessment criteria at one end, and we have our composition.
All right. So I think just the last question I'm going to take from the members, like some Prof. Dr. Farul Aziz, they're asking like how and ensure we should, on what should we be done to make our FRGS is really novelty enough to qualify the requirement for IP or patent.
IP4 pattern, in this particular case, we can go to my PO website or just Google what are the 3 criteria for IP, intellectual property. It has to be novel, that means nobody use it. It has to be novel, inventive in this particular case, and number 3, it has to be commercializable. A lot of us, including myself in this particular case, thought that my idea is the best already. Nobody has done it. Then the third, I to some extent do not qualify the aspect of commercializable. So for IP or for proposal that I want to prepare, I make it a practice to do my own Google search in this case. But like I shared just now, for 2020 and for 2021, become a wajib as well. Whatever we are pursuing, it has to have its own of novelty, because if possible, we don't want to repeat the very same research that already been pursued somebody else. We maybe really look forward for the output, but what if the idea has already been prioritized by them in this case? Then they will say that, hey, you copy me, and then we end up in trouble. So it would be good that just now for IP, that 3 things: inventive, novelty, and commercialize. This is 3 aspects of IP. But just to share, even for our research, it's okay if we want to do our own Google. We can see that, oh, okay, here at this university they do this, here they do this, here they do this. We look into aspect that where can I improve what they have done, or what else have they missed out that they have not done. From the references, I can see that, oh, this is a good approach. The applicants already know what are the limitation, latest limitation, or aware of similar findings or endeavor in this university, and he or she identify, they miss out this one. So please consider funding me. I don't do what they do. I just want to focus this aspect, and that will be an excellent excellent approach, because the problem is there to be solved. Then the novelty as well is there to be embarked.
Okay, thank you, Professor. So I think that's an up of our second series of FRGS taught by RMC. And thank you so much for all the members who spend your time Monday morning. I know like some of you might have like Steph, Monday blues. I don't know what many blues you have, but then inshallah, this is one of the part of our responsibility as academic researcher to, as again, like we are leading the way. We are going to bring all our research in the lab, in the office, in the university to benefit to the mind, inshallah, not just in Malaysia, inshallah, to the world. That's what our vision and mission as IUM as well. So just one announcement for all members, inshallah, for the third series by RMC in the FRGS talk, we are going to focus on IP and also patent search, which we're going to have experts from Ministry of Higher Education as well. So do looking forward for the announcement for RMC on the third series of this talk. And you have further questions, like Prof. Fadzil said, like you have more things to ask, like for example, how to know whether this one is good or not. Feel free to contact Prof. Fadzil or contact your KULLIYYAH members as well, who already experienced getting successful FRGS, and maybe who is also the national assessors to get feedback. As I said, this is really a try to peer review, get feedback from your own members, get feedback from your colleagues, get feedback from other members as well, so that we improve to make sure that it's successful for our next FRGS application 2022. So I think inshallah, that's it from me. On behalf of RMC, I apologize for any hiccups or anything that we are facing throughout the event. And feel free to give feedback. You can send emails to us, can go to our social media as well. We have on our Instagram too. And also for any suggestion for further talks, not just FRGS, anything thought you would like RMC to provide, feel free to let us know. Then that's it from me. Inshallah, I'm IZZAT SUFFIAN. time out from the Talk of FRGS series 2 for today, and have a great day and enjoy the whole week, inshallah. And please stay safe and do follow the SOPs for the COVID-19. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, and inshallah see you in the next session.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Dr. Izzat.